We will call this City Council meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. on the 25th of October 2018. We'll proceed now with the roll call.
Oh, we can do it again. Okay. Judy Costello. Here. Jason Bailey.
Here.
Joe Shy.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
He's excused for medical and physical reasons.
Leona Sander Hunter. Here. And Mayor Smith.
Also present. In light of the fact that we had a pledge at the outset of the workshop, the council will defer and proceed with the agenda.
Yes.
I see consensus there. So I'd like to call to the council's attention that, we've talked about budget, and we always have unforeseen budget events. Our tractor has developed a mechanical problem, and it's essential for us to have that functional tractor, so we've reached the conclusion that we need to fix it, and we've taken it to a repair shop, and the estimate was approximately $1,900.
$1,900 to $2,500, depending on which clutch it is.
Okay.
They couldn't tell till they got into it.
Yeah. Fortunately, through the council's wise financial planning, we had funds that we could allocate that were appropriate for its repair. So, but you should be aware that it's in the hospital at the moment, but it should survive. Then the second item I want to bring to your attention, you'll recall that we needed to contact Burlington Northern Railroad to discern their willingness to provide permits for accessing the sewer, power and water on their property as we proceed with the construction of the waste treatment plant. We were recently informed that we would. They didn't say no. They said that it appears that we'll need to apply for 3 permits that they would provide to us, but it's going to cost $800 per permit.
Is this for the right-of-way?
Yeah.
Just so we can cross the property with the equipment?
Yep.
With that little corner, that was
it's
really
so that
gross.
we can use their property as part of our driveway and for the 3 utilities that have to go down through that are already there.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying, I don't remember in the planning that we had to go across the property. I thought we were just getting close to it, and they wanted us to get a...
We already use their property, and we do not have a permit or an easement of any kind. And so, but in order to get this all approved, we have to show that we have the right to go across their property, and we looked and worked with them and tried to find some kind of previous agreement, couldn't find any, so they said, well, we don't give easements, but we do provide permits for these type of things, but each permit is $300 or $800, and you'll need 3. So
that when the time
That was
comes,
a permit for power, and a permit for...
sewer.
And a permit to drive on it.
Well,
sewer, water,
I
and
gotcha.
power. Yeah.
so that should be under the cost
Even though
of our
it's in the
sewer
same
plant.
hole?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it should go under sewer.
Yeah, not
Is
the pants.
breathing their air free, or do they?
Oh, excuse me. Wait, this is the council. Sorry. It's okay. All right. So that was just for your informational purposes, and it will be covered in appropriate funding and probably the cost of the entire project. So that concludes my comments. Now let's turn to the council comments.
I do.
Okay, Judy?
I have 3. I will be gone on November the 8th, which one was unfortunately
Okay.
during the budget thing. I didn't realize this. I was kind of that's why I was asking all those
Yeah,
questions.
okay, what do you
But
think?
I'm traveling that day, so please excuse me.
Okay.
The second thing is the community center will be having their holiday bazaar on November the 2nd and 3rd from 9 to 4. Come and do your Christmas shopping and get your sweet treats and honey.
Can you tell
What
me that
day?
date again?
November 2nd and 3rd
Okay.
from 9 to 4. And then, actually I have 2 more. The next thing is tire recycling date, November the 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Wenlock Vader tire recycling place. And I think that we should drive around and tell all of our neighbors about that.
Did you get this flyer?
Well, we do have some flyers here at
Find a
City
loan flyer
Hall.
to hand out.
We've been handing those out at City Hall.
Thank you.
I got them at the restaurant and at the store.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. And then my last question is, did anyone contact the school about getting the signs up? There has been an enormous amount of conversation on our Facebook site
Good.
about the kids and people running the bus stop signs and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, we've got some issues going on, and they've been chatting. I think Joe's seen it. They've been
Yeah.
chatting for a couple days about what to do.
okay.
So,
Did we follow up at all on that? I know it's
I have not.
Okay, no, we'll definitely put a to-do on that.
okay, please
You
do.
want-
Thank you.
Is that something you want me to do?
We'll decide.
Okay.
And I got a public, our council report also. I know we are taking donations and things like that for our Thanksgiving baskets and getting ready to do our Christmas stuff also, but Thanksgiving's coming first. So donations and monetary donations or of food to either the community center or to the cafe would be great for Thanksgiving families.
And what is the deadline?
Deadline would be the Sunday before, which would be the 18th.
Okay.
18th.
So this year it's food and as well as,
We've always taken monetary donations and we've always just put it right back into food because our food is kind of specific because we want, the full meal deal. So
right,
it's almost easier to give the monetary than it is to.
right, okay.
So, for the public's awareness, what sort of food commodities?
Thanksgiving dinner stuff, green beans, corn, yams, marshmallows, gravy. We also do like hair products for,
Mm-hmm.
things like toothpaste, toilet paper, paper towels, all onions, potatoes. We do all of that kind of stuff. So bread, rolls, butter, yeah,
I've seen the box.
yeah,
Where is
Wait,
that taken?
excuse me.
flour,
Sorry.
sugar, but
The council,
Where is that taken to? And hello, I'm back caring for my mother.
we can take the donations at the Little Crane Cafe, or you want to take some?
Sure, I have no
Or
problem.
at the community center at Judy's.
I'm all in.
another comment? Yes, Scott?
You said that you preferred the monetary because there's specific things that you like to do. Do you have like a?
We can put together a list
If you have like certain brands of?
no brands. We're just
Just
corn is corn, beans are beans, yams
Oh,
are
okay.
yams.
Okay.
Stuffing is stuffing. This donations. We're not asking for the creme de la creme of stuffing or
Oh, yeah.
anything like that. So.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, that's wonderful, both of you. And now, do you want to mention the meeting you'd like to? Or not?
That's coming up.
I think somebody put me on the list.
Let's see, so talk about it.
Can you imagine?
Perfect,
Go figure.
thank you, that's good.
What would happen if I didn't go? Ooh,
Okay.
Well, you
Wonderful.
already told me you were going, so.
Word was out. All right, well, those concludes our council reports then. And let's proceed now with the agenda approval for this evening's council meeting.
there's light on this one. Yes, we need to take number 2 off.
Mhm.
Unless we have something from somebody else.
Do you have something you
Think we
want to
do.
discuss about
Uh-huh.
me or Joe, do you?
I do not.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept city council meeting agenda for 10/25/2018 with the exception of line item number 2.
you've heard the motion submitted by Mrs. Costello to approve the agenda with the deletion of item number 2. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. All right, minutes approval for the council meeting of October 11th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for city council meetings for 10/11/2018 as written.
Okay, Mrs. Hunter submitted a motion to approve those council meeting minutes as written. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Costello. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. Now we'll proceed with our voucher approvals.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers. For the first half of October 2018, $118,638.79. The end of October 2018, $11,205.34. For the October 2018 total of $129,844.13.
Mr. Shine submitted a motion to approve the amounts as noted. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. Special reports. We're scheduled to have a planning committee report, and I do see a member of the planning committee.
I'm Facebooking right now.
Oh, but he's busy at Facebook. We'll turn the podium over to Scott Groves.
It's a great day. It's raining. Pacific Northwest. Good evening, everybody. The planning committee has, well, we were stalled for a while on our comprehensive plan due to funding. We had Matt Yoshi from the Lewis Economic Development Department and Freddie Vander, who is with
Lewis County Planning and Development.
Thank you. They had come down a couple of meetings ago and spoke with us. Matt informed us that he was able to secure a grant for hopefully the remainder of the funds needed to complete the comprehensive plan. So Gary Cooper was down at our last meeting and went over some things, and I'm going to probably bounce back and forth here because we had a special meeting also, that was a public meeting on October 2nd, which was in between our regular meetings. We invited the public to come and kind of throw some ideas at us. We're trying to come up with some updated vision statements for the city. So we kind of probed citizens that came as well as our committee members for ideas of things that they liked, didn't like. What was the third one? Like, don't like?
Don't
Would like to have?
like, want, don't
Oh.
like.
Thank you.
Like, want, don't want.
But so we came up with different ideas based on that meeting. When Gary was down looking at the list of items that people found important, not important, etc., he felt that a lot of those ideas kind of fit in with different facets of the economic development plan. So he was going to put together some things for us, kind of tying all of that together, and he's supposed to come back to our next meeting with some further developments. At that time, I'm hoping that we'll be able to present something solid to the council for vision statements to see if we can come up with something solid.
Fantastic.
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Questions? Judy?
Oh,
You always have questions.
no, Scott, I don't have a question for you.
You only want to ask what happened? Oh, you already know.
Okay.
Anybody?
Well, going once, twice.
Gone.
Thank you.
Well, just,
Too late? No, I'm kidding.
have they closed the park yet? The gate?
This is the
This is
planning.
the planning committee.
Planning.
Oh, planning.
It
But
has
I can
been
answer
closed.
that and say yes.
Yes, it has.
Planning. Started with a P, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott, for that report. Well, all right, then we've reached the point in our agenda
But they closed the park, okay.
where we will deal with item number 1, which is a public hearing related to the 2019 revenues and property taxes, a topic that is obviously related to the 2019 budget. Now, in order to accomplish this, we would need to have it initiated through a motion presented by a member of the council. And at some point in that motion, we probably want to discern a length of time. Do you think?
I don't know if it needs to be in the motion or if you can just decide it after, just open the public
Yeah,
hearing.
I think it should be a time attached to it, or you could end up.
Then we can increase it
Yeah.
or decrease it.
Yeah.
I think that's what we did last year. Yeah.
How many people are scheduled to speak?
Well, I only have one person signed up for public comment, and they didn't mark whether it was public hearing or general. General. Okay, so I don't have anybody signed up for the public hearing right now, unless,
What we could inquire as to whether or not there are individuals who have comments you'd like to offer, and you know that
I
you want to.
wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, there's one.
okay, well, question
doesn't-
isn't a comment.
Okay.
Questions are not public hearing material.
How many people would like to talk during the public hearing?
About taxes.
About property tax, so you
We
do
got
want to talk about
two-
property tax.
I just want to ask.
So we got 2 or 3 people.
Oh, it's
Okay.
not question time.
Okay.
This
Up
is
to 3
business
minutes
time for
apiece.
you guys.
Okay.
Okay,
3
let me
minutes
comment.
each.
Can I explain, Mayor? It seems like
Yeah.
people think it's question time. The public hearing is a time for the public to come and make their comments about whether, how they feel about the property taxes. Do you want them to go up? Do you want them to go down? Do you want them to stay the same? Do you want them to stand on their head? But it's not question and answer time. It's not grilling the council or asking questions. It's just time for the council to sit and listen to you make your comments. So,
Thank you.
that was earlier at 5 when we did the workshop, or anytime the city hall is open.
Oh, see, I told Cindy it was now.
Oh, wrong.
See, I asked earlier.
She asked, yeah.
Sorry, that was
It's
wrong.
confusing, there's no, but you will have future opportunities to grill.
Yeah. Or after the meeting, you know, if you want to grow, you can do that.
Look how disappointed she is.
Sorry, I know, she was so looking forward to that.
Goodness.
Okay, so we're thinking 3 minutes per.
So, did we have people then that did want to make public comment?
Just say we open it for 10 minutes until.
Sure.
Well, but if you don't have anybody who wants to talk, then you only have to open it for 10 seconds, because it doesn't sound like nobody raised their hand.
Up to 10 minutes.
Oh, up to 10 minutes.
Are we going to talk about it too, or is this just public?
This is just listening
Oh,
time.
okay.
You guys talked earlier.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for 2019 revenues and property taxes, not to exceed 10 minutes.
Okay, you've heard a motion submitted by Mr. Shy to call to order this public hearing on the 2019 revenues and property taxes, not to exceed 10 minutes.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. Any other comments?
I'll make a comment.
No, it's from the council comment.
So listen.
Not yet.
So,
They haven't opened it yet. Hang on. Hang on.
oh, we're excited. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. We will now commence this public hearing. Should I state the time? At 6:20 p.m.
So call to
Now,
order.
Now, Cindy.
Oh, do I have to go up there? I just want to make a comment.
6:20 p.m.
Okay, my comment is there are a lot of people in this city that are literally have dollars left after they pay their bills. To raise or continue to raise taxes, to me, is putting people in the hole. And that, to me, that's criminal. So I would suggest that they not only not be raised, but the ones that we did raise 2 years ago, to end. You can carry on now. How do you guys feel about that?
That's a question.
Not question.
Oh,
Public comment.
You guys don't care if taxes are raised?
We have questions. I'm a Texas resident.
oh. You want to move here?
Considering your city. More than
So-
what? I have questions, but this isn't question time.
Right.
Okay, we have a comment.
I'll make a comment. I don't want to see them raised. How's that?
Thank you, Donna.
Okay.
Thank you.
And how do you feel about it?
Can I go sit over there and make a comment?
Jeff raised my hand, I wanted to be on the thing, and that didn't work. So.
If you don't want them raised, you vote no.
Yeah.
I guess I have a comment.
Okay.
Taxes are important.
I'm sorry, who are
That's
you?
how you-
I know these other people's names, but I don't know yours.
Well, I'm Steve Sweat. I'm from Longview, and we're thinking about buying a house here. And so it's just, we're kind of concerned as to what, but taxes are important. They're necessary to keep things moving. And I know it puts a hardship on some people, so maybe they could make it like an exception for those who are financially challenged. Because I know when I moved into a community, I understand that taxes make the community or break it. I've lived in places that have just choked the life out of the city because they, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then I need to make a comment. That's
Tell me your name again.
Patty McVeigh. And I've been away. And I'm again considering, I was caring for my sick mother in Indianapolis, and we lost her, but I was there, and that was very important. And I want to make a comment that I'm still moving from Castle Rock. It's heaven up here compared to the taxes in Castle Rock. So I'd just like to make that comment that I find it, and I am on a limited, I'm 72 now. I've grown older. As Jason well knows, he has a senior menu for me at his restaurant. So I just want to comment that this is, to me, the best value in the state of Washington, California, Oregon, because I've studied it all.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay.
I'll make a comment. I feel if the city is going to be in a detriment because they don't increase the revenue to keep the city flowing, that isn't a good idea overall for the city. And I wasn't here for the workshop to know where you guys were at number-wise, but if the city can't keep itself afloat based on the current numbers and the money that's coming in, then of course we need to make changes. And that seems to be the most logical one, because any other options aren't going to pull in the dollars that property taxes are going to, such as sales tax or some sort of revenue business tax that you might get from somebody new coming in.
Can I make another comment, or are you limited to one?
I don't think you can go ahead. You got 10 minutes here.
My comment is, just like with our own budget at home, you live within your budget, and you don't just keep trying to go out and get a third or fourth or fifth job in order to bring more money in. So raising taxes it shouldn't be the first thing you guys think about. It should be the very last thing you think about. Stop doing that.
I can't help it. I have to take it.
So don't just raise taxes, cut expenses someplace else. You know, there are several options that maybe could be less, instead of just putting it on the backs of the people in town that can hardly afford it.
Thank you.
I have a limited income, I'm okay, but I have a limited income. And I know some people have less income than I do. But my question is, how much is our tax burden compared to other communities and other cities? And would the people who are trying to help by not raising taxes suffer greatly if there weren't roads, maintenance, fire protection, etc., etc.? I think that we have to consider how we would get along with less money, yes, but when we're back against the wall, we're going to have to maybe raise taxes a little. Maybe people are going to have to give up cable TV or other things, or stop buying lottery tickets or other things. But there are people that are dirt poor, and I know it, and I understand. Trust me, I understand. But I think that the ideas that have been voiced here about finding out how much other people are paying for the same thing, making sure we're getting the best bang for our buck, but sometimes we will have to raise taxes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Doug,
Doug,
you're the only
you're
one
the
left.
only one. Yeah.
Surely you have something.
Come on,
I
Doug.
know he has something to say about this.
I thought you were
Get it out.
I'll just sit here and smile.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Well,
Do you want one more comment?
Hearing no other? No.
yeah, we're close. I think.
Okay. As still a resident of Castle Rock, which I guess, though you're unincorporated, correct?
No,
No,
we're
You're
City.
incorporated?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look at 2,500 people in Castle Rock, and then we look at your numbers, and we compare, we would find out, which I've done, that we here, and I say we because Jason knows how serious I am, and Judy does too, we are more than competitive in Vader. And really, I fear for cities like Castle Rock, who look beautiful, tax out the ears, and even those that aren't as unlucky as some can barely afford it. So I'm just making the comment that if we're looking at comparisons of cities, we could look at Kalama, we could look at Castle Rock, and I've done that. And this is still the very best buy. And yes, we should raise, and yes, we should be aware of the poor, and we should give more to the poor. But I think that's up to, my comment is that that's up to each one of us through our churches and everything else to help the poor. And the homeless, which there are some always.
Thank you. Okay, well, absent any other comments, I see that we still have 10 minutes, so I would wait a motion for the council, yeah, but you could, or less, up to 10 minutes. If the council wants to submit a motion to adjourn this public comment, public hearing, you're free to do so.
Anybody?
Last chance, Doug.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing for the 2019 revenues and property taxes at 6:28 p.m.
Okay, you've heard a motion submitted by Mr. Daly to conclude the public hearing as noted at the time indicated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hunter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Thank you. That motion is carried. With that, let's proceed with item number 2. That would be a report on the limb and yard waste disposal center, which I thought that we were going to table until March, but it's council's commentary.
Well, at the last, I thought we were tabling it too, but at the last meeting, they said, you forgot to put us on the agenda. So I put you on the agenda.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Leon and I were going to share with you our dates and times and financials.
And our rules.
And our rules. However, I apologize because I don't have them with me. I neglected to bring them tonight. So,
Can I make a comment about them?
No. Wait, let's go ahead.
No, I apologize, I don't have them. Is it something we could redo at another time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We just kind of wanted to, Leona and I thought it would be nice if we discussed the times, the dates, because we're volunteers on it.
Absolutely.
And the month that we wanted to start and do the whole thing like that. So that was the reason we wanted to be back on it. But again, I apologize. So if we could be on it at another time.
You want to share that or
Would you?
Okay.
Thank you.
The next one you're not going to be here at, right?
Correct.
So maybe the one after that?
That would be fine.
Okay.
That would be
Okay.
fine.
We know there is interest in the community for it.
Can I ask a question on that?
There is a question? Yes.
Sure.
When are you, you're talking spring before it's all come
Right.
I do have
You're
a
sure
call.
it couldn't be early? But we don't
Originally, we
have.
said May, and then we changed it to March because you wanted it earlier.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
To get it all put together, I bet it'll be
Yeah.
March. We'll be good to get it
Right.
done by
If
March.
we can,
So.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Unless you want to volunteer to stand out.
I was going to say mud boots and
I have
Good
one
point.
more question about that.
Does the council want another question on this?
Sure.
Anything in the budget on that limb?
On the
Is there-
chipper
No,
or-
anything
Nope.
to
That's
do
it.
with that limb pile?
That's easy.
Hopefully this will be self-sufficient.
I have
Okay.
a
Yes.
comment to make about that though, but with the information we've heard from Burlington Northern about permits,
Oh,
that property is actually Burlington Northern property, it's not Vader property. So I'm wondering if we need to get a permit before we can even really do that.
Now, are those permits yearly permits? Or are they just
I have no
one-time
idea.
permits?
I can
Perfect.
talk with Matt and find out. Matt Wadlington, who's the engineer doing the project, he's been the one that's been talking with them about it. Maybe I can get their contact information and find out. But after seeing
Just
the
using a
maps and
chipper
everything,
on railroad property might be a problem.
well, and collecting limbs and setting up a structure on property that's
Right.
not ours
yeah. It's,
is
we're-
probably,
We're beyond the
you
don't
know.
ask, don't tell phase.
yeah. So, unless there's another location, but,
Do we already have
Across the road. we're
Lego
looking-
blocks on there?
yeah,
Oh,
but they're not on our property,
But-
so.
See, the fact that Matt has established communications with Burlington Northern, and the fact that they've known that we've had those piles there before,
Yeah.
I'm not anticipating there's going to be a problem, but as
No,
soon
but
as
we may
you...
need to
But-
get a permit,
But
and
the
what does
internet
that
might be something
entail?
that they're
Yeah.
doing.
So
mandatory.
that's some more research we should probably check into.
Right.
Insurance problem, or
Mhm. But further evidence that the city is at least trying to do things the way a normal incorporated city does things. So that's evidence of that.
Is that possibly something we might know about at a couple more meetings when we talk about the limb stuff?
I'm sure work on that.
Okay.
is there a plan B, is there a second place that we could possibly do this if this doesn't work out?
The only other place I think council's talked about is maybe at McMurphy
it's
Park.
the only place.
We didn't want to do
I
that.
don't know if there's, I mean, as
No
far
one
as,
wants to turn the park into a
Yeah.
solid waste facility, you know what I mean?
I think that would be hard to pass with the park board too.
Right.
but that's, I mean, that's the only place.
However, there is a parcel of property at the end of 10th Street that the city owns.
The logged
And it's
area?
out there,
Mhm.
past that. Yep, it's past the log
There.
area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We have a couple little pieces here and there that the city owns, and
Mhm.
By High Street.
So bear that in mind. But it might have an impact on the residents in that dead end.
Sure,
street.
yeah, that's a driveway pretty much that goes back to it,
Yeah.
3 houses on it.
Yeah, but it's there and it's the city's, so you know.
Chipper's really loud.
All right. So with that, I think the council's exhausted that topic. So let's proceed now with item number 3, report on the landfill closure group and executive advisory committee meeting from our council member Costello.
I went to, and they asked me to please call it the landfill, not the garbage dump, when speaking about them. They were very nice. It was a very nice group of people. However, it was not the meeting that Lois attends all the time. This was a once-a-year meeting, and Mike attended it last year.
yeah, but that's what Lois attended that as well, years ago.
But not, Lois went monthly.
Oh,
This
she
one
did?
was only,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this
That's
meeting
my mistake.
was once, and it was their budget, which was way over my head. Honestly, it was like in the millions and whatever. So the only thing I have to really report is that I did attend, as I said I would do, and I brought back to you the tire recycle information. And truly, that's all I really took away from the meeting, because, like I said, it was a budget meeting.
How long did it last?
I was there from 1:30 to 3, a little after 3.
Well, thank you for sacrificing your time.
Was it interesting at all?
It was very interesting, and it was a very nice group of people. There were probably about 10 of us, and it was some council people from Napa Vine and
Did
one
you
off
imagine
in
that it
Peel.
would cost that much to do a landfill?
Well, they're monitoring it.
It's a lot.
It's the monitoring of all of that, so it was very interesting. It was really interesting, but nothing that we could use, folks. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
All right.
So anyway.
Thank you. Good report.
You're welcome.
All right, our item number 4, council to consider the Barkov pay request number 4, which is pretty pro forma function.
When is this contract going to close? Can we talk? I always forget if it's proper time or not.
No.
When is this contract going to close?
Well, we're in the process of trying to do the closeout paperwork. This is one of the first steps in closing it out. This is their last
This
pay
is the
request,
last pay.
except for the retained money that
Okay.
we've held back. So
Were we happy with the cement repairs?
Yes.
Okay.
We did. And they fulfilled it as they indicated they would. So I expected it. And Devin Jackson was pleased with it. He preferred not to have to have been done, but they did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We thinks they did a terrible job on that seating.
On the what?
The seating in that strip is If I paid that kind of money to have something done and it turned out like that,
Yeah.
I would not be paying.
But
It's full of weeds and the weeds are gonna overtake and
yeah, I was looking at it and have been just as concerned as you should be. Nobody wants to sugarcoat it. But,
Unfortunately, the weeds were probably already there.
they brought in soil.
well, I think that you could show that it was
Did bring in some.
within the topsoil.
$5,184.
I'm pretty confident that the weeds, they will, as they're mowed, are going to, because they're not like dandelions or the buttercup that is intractable. But I don't want to detract from your point. But it is what it is, and it is done. So,
There was a lovely little park bench by the post office that was set in cement. Will they be coming to repair that and put it back? And why not?
it wasn't part of the project per se, and it was deliberated and debated upon and head scratched over. And so that's the decision that was made, and Devin Jackson was one of those individuals involved.
So now what happens?
If we want a bench, we have to replace it.
Put a bench there if we want. We have a question? You want to entertain
On the
a
south
question?
side?
Right next to
South side,
the
the
north
flagpole.
side. It's
Oh.
that one that was down here, right next to the post office, and it's set right by the flag.
For the flagpole.
Yeah.
It's a really nice one, and it's not made out of wood or anything. It's,
Oh, yeah, it does have wood slats on it.
that's one of those molded ones. Some car club or somebody donated.
Where did it go?
It's laying down there.
It's
That was
laying
my
there.
question. It's
Yeah.
laying there looking at us by the flagpole.
Hmm.
And it's supposed to be in cement. It's got metal that's all there.
Right.
Metal lines. So
Yeah.
I guess that was mine.
Yeah, they had to
Yeah.
cut it off, so it,
Mhm.
unless somebody did metalworking and could fix the legs, I don't know if we can even reuse it or not.
I got a welder in the family.
All right.
Placards.
Well,
Fix it.
and that's in all of our families.
Yeah,
If
The
somebody
Vader
has
family.
yeah, the Vader
We
family.
always
If
got-
somebody has a place to take that bench and try to get the legs
Yeah.
extended and
Mhm.
a
Well,
way,
that's all
a way
it
to
takes.
put it in the ground, yeah.
And make those
However,
cement,
is
put
that
it in little
a
pack.
topic pertinent to the motion that's...
Probably not, but
Well, I thought it was
But-
because we're going to be closing that out after this decision right here. And if
But
they're not
is there
going to
a
do
way
it,
to attach that particular thing to this?
Well,
Yeah,
that
it-
would be more of a, a retainage thing. There's things that are undone. We would have a punch list of things that need to be completed.
well, we wouldn't be able
Already
to
been
attach it to
Yeah.
this.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
this was
Right.
comment over and above. Comment over and above.
And that has been commented, I can tell you,
Uh-huh.
with them. But a couple of questions. Go ahead, Steve.
Back to the weed problem, it is now encroaching, those weeds are now decided to move next door to our property. So, if you're not gonna do anything, obviously they spread. I don't know what they are, they don't look familiar.
Yeah.
And we're paying these people to do this, and yet now they've infected our business area with weeds. Do we even know what it is? Are we gonna pay them for the weeds?
What's extra?
we already did.
Extras. Yeah.
But now
Well,
they're spreading into the property.
Well, hey, that might be something you'd need to try and prove in court, and it doesn't sound very pleasant to me, but small claims maybe you pursue it, but
What?
I would think that eventually
right.
we would throw some weed and feed or
Yeah,
some kind of
some
weed
broadleaf.
and broadleaf spray on there
Yeah.
and take care of it.
Right.
You could
Just the
perhaps-
grass is too fragile right
Yeah.
now to do that.
Yeah.
But the point is, that kind of money, we shouldn't have to do anything. They should have done it correctly.
And most dirt and seed, when brought in on a project like this, has a percentage of whether it is 60% weed and whatever, or if it has a little percentage thing. It's usually like a little certification you get with when they buy that stuff and do it. I don't know.
Well, what are you suggesting?
That we not pay them?
Make them come in and do it
Hold it
right.
back. Do a whole
That's a lot of
I
money for
think that,
weeds.
well, we can certainly take that under advisement.
Well, the money was
but,
for the dirt.
Right.
No, there was seeding.
There was dirt and
That's the
seed.
dirt, that's the seeds. There's
You can
audience
hold money
installation.
back, I've done that to contractors.
We
Oh,
got
so-
audience.
I'm sorry.
We got
That's
seed
okay.
lawn installation
Um,
and topsoil. Yikes.
Well, as aggravated as you are, they will probably tell you, well, just be patient and let's see what happens. Because we knew we have to maintain it after it's planted. It's obviously, who's happy with it, but they came and they've eliminated the weeds, and now we will hope that the grass can overcome it, and we will have to maintain it regardless. We know that Mother Nature in this, I'm not trying to be an apologist for them, but just as the individuals and the city staff that is required to deal with contractors and carry out to the contracts as they did come back and do what we asked them to do. So as aggravated as we are at the quality of the dirt and such and the weeds that did show, they ameliorated it, and I'm not feeling all that comfortable going back and telling them that we're going to withhold the rest of this, whatever it is that they evaluate that project over. So, but I appreciate the feedback. So that's what we talked about. Who was first? Was it?
Two comments, questions. Those weeds, it was kind of alluded to that, well, they're like dandelions. Well, these aren't dandelions. I don't know what they are, but I never saw a dandelion that was 8 inches tall with leaves sticking out and a root system to really take off. I think that they were brought in, whatever kind of plant it was. It was brought in when they sprayed the seed.
Sure.
And
With the
they should be responsible for that.
Well, pardon me, but since I was so heavily involved with those weeds, when it was inferred that they were not like dandelions, they aren't like dandelions because they're not the type of plant that just regenerates itself. And when they're pulled and eliminated, they don't grow back like a buttercup or a dandelion. There are 3 varieties of those plants. So you're just going to have to, as much as disgruntlement you are expressing, we just have to hope that Mother Nature, with a helping hand from the city employee, will take care of those weeds. So,
Okay, my second
does the
comment.
council want to pursue the discussion of the plants?
I'm okay with one more comment.
I'm okay.
Go for it.
Okay. The contractor tore up the pad that the bench was on. I think it should be up to the contractor to restore the bench to its former self.
Duly noted. Okay. So with that, let's proceed with the agenda item at hand.
I'll make a motion. I move to approve the Barcott construction remaining amount from pay request number 3 in the amount of $9,963 and all of pay request 4 in the amount of $66,681.69.
Okay, well, thank you. You've heard the motion submitted by Mr. Scheid to approve the Barcott construction as read. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, I'm opposed.
Okay, and so it was a 2 and 2. So the mayor has the privilege of being the tie-breaking vote, and I approve the motion as read. So it will duly note in the record it was 3 in favor and 2 council members and the mayor with 2 opposed. Okay, thank you for that.
I've only ever seen the mayor have to vote once in all the
I
time
think
That's
so.
almost
That's
historic.
nice.
sitting here.
It's appropriate would be weeds. That's it.
It's the big decisions. You come to
Exactly, right.
But you did approve weed, right? No, that wasn't correct.
I would like to hear what Hallie has to say,
Yeah.
if that's
Okay,
okay.
we'd like to hear.
My
Yes.
question is, who broke the bench in the first place? That's my one
Right.
question.
Oh,
My second question is on the weed issue. What guarantees did the contractor make? It's not a statement. I just want to know
Right.
who broke it, the bench,
mhm.
because that is the person who should have to pay to fix it.
Yeah, the individual who was.
It's not broken.
Right. Mhm. And I have to tell you that proper procedures would require that any council deliberation on the topic focus on the agenda item at hand. And unfortunately, when the topic is concluded, the motion has been passed, and you cannot go back and re-deliberate on the topic. So, but we'd be happy to talk after the council meeting.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be good. Alrighty, well then, that concludes the agenda items. It's now our public comment.
So, Ms. Radcliffe, you did have something for general?
I did.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cindy Radcliffe, 1027th Street. The five of you, I know Mike's gone, but the five of you were elected by the citizens of Vader for the benefit of the citizens and on behalf of the citizens, to do work for the citizens. And I don't see a lot of that happening in this budget. I don't see a lot of things that actually affect the daily lives. In fact, I found nothing that affects the daily lives and makes it better for the citizens of Vader. You raise taxes, that doesn't benefit it. You raise fees on the building, so when somebody wants to improve their property, it's going to cost them 65% more. You raised rates on sewer, that doesn't help them at all. You haven't been able to fix any roads, and there's no plan to fix any roads. And I'm not talking about A Street, that one block.
The $500,000 thing we just did down
Right,
there.
the A block.
Yeah, not that.
No, not that,
Oh, okay.
because that was one block, and there are lots of other blocks here, lots of other streets, and there's no plans to do that. Poor Charlie Vermillion can't drive out the front of his house because of the things are so deep. You have no more business coming in. You don't plan on marketing for more business. You don't have any more activities for our kids that you have planned, and there's no plan for that in the next year. You don't even want to open the limb disposal. And as for bringing dumpsters once or twice a year so people can clean up their property and get rid of the extra refuse if they don't have the money to take it to the dump. There's no plan to affect the daily lives of the people of this city. You have $84,000 or $85,000 on code enforcement attorneys and planners. That's almost a third of the budget for 3 people. And yet you have nothing in this budget, and you didn't last year either, that affects and helps the daily lives of our people. So when you're going through this plan, would you please try to look at something that would improve their lives on a daily basis and not just raise their taxes, raise their fees, raise their rates?
Thank you. With that, very good. No other public comments? And with that, sorry, but it is, we've completed the agenda as written, so we will officially adjourn this meeting at 6:50 p.m. Thank you all for coming.